gently downward if you prefer. And just becoming aware of your sitting bones, your seat, and its firm connection downward. Grounding your stable base. And from there, lifting, feeling an energetic lift right the way from the base all the way to the crown of the head. Maybe see if that unfurls your spine slightly. Gives you a little bit of lift down the sides of the body. Notice if you have any areas that feel a little stuck or tense. And particularly across the face, see if you can release some of that tension, soften. Soft and strong is what we are looking for in yoga. Becoming aware of your breath. And perhaps just watching your natural breath. Noticing its rhythm, its rate, its qualities. And when you're ready, taking deeper, more purposeful breaths. Filling up the front of the body, the sides, the back of the body. As you breathe out, just gently engaging your tummy muscles, your abdominals to press a little bit more air out of the lungs. Breathing in sides, chest, upper back. And as you breathe out, a slow release of the air, just gently squeezing at the bottom. Breathing in sides, chest, back. Feel the breath lift you tall, and then as you breathe out, gently engaging the abdominal muscles. Continuing like this a few more rounds. Notice if your face is still relaxed, if your shoulders are still relaxed. And then at the end of your next exhalation, just allowing your breath to fall into its natural rhythm and bringing your chin towards your chest. And from here, exploring any movements with your neck that feel good. So maybe perhaps rolling the ears towards the shoulders, the chin to the chest. Perhaps if you prefer a little bit more twisting, that's also good. Whatever gets you access into the muscles at the sides of the neck, the front, the upper chest, the upper back, the shoulders. And if you want to, you can do a little sort of half circle, lifting the chin, but not taking the head back, just lifting. Whichever way you're going in the opposite direction as well. If you're having your own exploration, that's all good too. And finishing with your chin towards your chest. Bringing your head upright. Let's make some movements with our shoulders, just rolling through the shoulders. We'll go in both directions. And then maybe with the fingertips on the shoulders, making larger circles with the elbows. If that feels good. And in the opposite direction too. And then perhaps just exploring one shoulder at a time. So a little bit backwards and forwards. If you want to take your hands away from your shoulders, you can. Perhaps you feel like a little twisting here would help. Opening up the chest, the back, the sides of the body. Doing whatever feels good to you. You can see some lovely movements on the screen. That's fantastic, guys. And then we're going to bring our hands back onto our knees and just start with a little swaying in the upper body, or swaying in the body. So from the center. And then we're going to turn this into circles. So we're going to begin stirring the spine. As we do this, allow your head to follow your movement. So as you come forward, perhaps the chin comes down a little. As you come back, the chin comes up a little. Maybe a little effort in the tummy muscles, just to stabilize whichever direction you're going, or reversing whenever you're ready. And as you practice this way, feel what's going on in your body, becoming aware of those connections down the back of the body, under the ribs, across the low back, the chest, the shoulders, the abdomen, under the front of the rib cage. And when you're ready, you can come back to center. So if you need to, at any time, you can come out of your cross-legged position. Right now, we're just going to open up our hips a little bit. So taking the legs out in front of you, keeping the feet quite wide, keeping the knees a little bent. We're going to stir the ankles in circles, and you'll see the knees almost kiss each other and then come apart. So we're rolling, actually rolling the femur bones in their sockets here. So feeling that movement happening, sensing the connections all the way from the soles of the feet through the ankles, the knees, the hips into the low back, and then allowing your body to move with this movement of the legs. So allowing the hips to create an undulation, a flow through your upper body as well. And if you want to, you can use your arms. And this is the posture I forgot to teach last week. So this is the octopus. Very good. I know we are all practicing at home, so you don't need to be embarrassed by any of the weird movements we're making today. Instead, just allowing yourself to really flow, to find a connection with the feelings, the sensory information you're getting back from your body. We'll do two more. Very good. Coming back to center, we're going to cross the right leg in front of the left. So if you weren't doing that before, doing that now. And then just rolling through the wrists a little bit, maybe making fists and spreading the fingers, doing whatever feels good to you, shaking out the wrists. And we're going to rest the wrists down, the hands down on the body. So we're starting here in the center. We want this sense of lift, a little bit of power here in the belly. We're going to lean ever so slightly back and then twist over the right leg and fold forward. Doesn't matter where you get to, we're coming back into the center, lifting, twisting over the left leg and folding forward. So we're going side to side, breathing in as you lift, breathing out as you fold. Breathing in as you lift, breathing out as you fold. A little bit of action across the belly muscles. And finding a comfortable position for your neck. So just allowing your head to be wherever your neck feels most neutral. Very good. And we're awakening the sides of the body, the connections across the spine, between the shoulders and the hips. The next time you go over your left leg, we're going to come back to center and extend our right leg away. So we're now in a little sort of Janu Shirshasana. And here we're going to do you remember our waitress arms from last week? Our wings with waitress arms. So that's what we're going to do here. So taking your right hand and placing it down on the right side of your body. We're going to sweep the left hand from behind us, back of the hand coming towards the right leg as we lean as much forward as feels comfortable. When you've reached as far towards that right leg as you can, reaching up, palm turning upwards a little bit. And then at the top of the movement, we twist to the left, draw our left elbow into the side of the body, and imagine we're carrying a tray on our palm and forearm, waitress arms. Okay, so Mari, if you need to, just watching that one more time. We're going to sweep the back of the hand like a wing coming from behind us as we lean over the right leg, leaning as far as we feel comfortable doing, reaching upwards, twisting the arm as we do, twisting the upper body to the left, left elbow into the left side of the body, palm turned upwards. Okay, so let's do this. We're going to do this not too speedy, but with purpose. So reaching around and up, elbow into the side, reaching the left arm around and up, elbow into the side. Let's do 2 more like that. And really feeling the connection of the arm right into the side of the torso. This time, we're going to do 1 more like this and then hold our waitress arm. And here we've got a sense of a lift in the center of the body, the elbows really brought in, and we're taking a visceral photograph. So we're creating a sense of this is where the body is needing to be, with the shoulder blade drawn towards the center and down, with the elbow tucked in, with the chest open here at the front of the left shoulder, and with the arm powerful and ready for action. Aces. So we're going to gently relax that. And here we're going to go into our deer pose straight away. So we're going to take the right knee and bend the leg behind us, left knee facing in front. Good job. Taking the hands to the left side, so turning slightly over the left knee, and then gently easing ourselves a little bit forward and swaying from side to side. If your movement is small, that's okay, as long as it feels like you're accessing something. You're getting some kind of good feedback from the body. A little bit like a bear scratching his back. Maybe you want to round through the upper back a little bit. That was fine too. Whatever gets you access to that space across the back of the ribs, the sides of the body, and of course into the pelvis. Very good. And what we're doing is massaging that fascia. We're lubricating it and we're releasing tension from it, which is great. So we're going to gently come up from here. And this is a little bit of a complicated transition if you haven't done it before, so just watching. The left hand's going to come down on the left side so that it's not too far away from the body. If it's too far away from the body, you'll end up with your shoulder over space. So we want it relatively close to the body. We're going to put our right foot on the floor, tuck the left foot a little bit underneath, press down into the right foot, down into the shin and the top of the left foot, and then reach the right arm over. So we're looking for the left shoulder to be over the left hand or thereabouts, the left knee to be under the left hip, and reaching the right arm over. This we're going to call baby rockstar. And from here, we're going to bring the right elbow to the left knee, bringing the buttocks down towards the heels. So we're rounding through the upper back and then reaching back up, stretching up with the hips, creating space underneath the left side of the body, reaching away with the right hand, and then bending right elbow to left knee. Reaching up and down and up and down. One more dynamically. Very good. And this time holding if you want to, you don't have to. Holding if you can, pressing really firmly down with the left leg, the left arm. And then if you want to, you can reach the right hand behind you and then come back towards the center, reaching so you get an openness in the chest, only if that suits your left shoulder. And then very gently releasing your hips down. We're going to release our legs back into this deer-shaped pose. And now we're going to slide down towards the floor, okay? So from here, left hand slides along the floor as you lie down on the left, and you're going to roll onto your back but leave your knees where they are. So you're in a spinal twist here when we end up down on the floor. If this is dreadfully uncomfortable, come onto your back and place your knees up, and you're gently going to wave the knees from side to side. If you can hold this position here with the arms nice and wide, we're gently going to ease the inside of the right leg away from the floor and then the inside of the right leg towards the floor. So that's the inner thigh, the inside of the foot, the inside of the ankle. So gently releasing away and then gently guiding towards the floor. Not straining, not forcing, just a gentle pulse up and down. And you can feel the connection here right across the hip flexor, the front of the pelvis, the sides of the body. And the next time you're holding your inner leg towards the floor, if it feels comfortable, you can hold that position and reach the right arm up over your head. And just again, taking a moment to feel the sensations in the body. Feel the openness. Feel that sense of length, space. Very good. And then gently releasing the arm, releasing the knees up so that you're lying on your back. And we're just going to shift ourselves a little bit so that you've got your feet in a good position to do a bridge pose. Elbows come close to the body. We're going to have the palms facing each other and elbows pressing down, upper arms pressing down. So we're coming into bridge in a slightly different way from normal. We're pressing the upper arms down to lift the chest and then pressing into the heels to lift the hips. And we're going to release all the way down. Pressing the upper arms and shoulders and elbows down to lift the chest. Pressing into the heels to lift the hips and releasing down. We're going to keep going up and down like this. It's not about how high your hips come off the floor. It's about engaging the muscles of the back of the body. So pressing the upper arms and elbows down, lifting the chest, and then pressing into the heels rather, to lift the hips. Next time you come up, we're going to hold if you'd like to. You can continue to go up and down if you prefer, and gently ease the back of the head down as well. So to feel a little engagement in the back of the neck with the muscles, and then hula hoop the hips. So whilst you're up in your bridge pose, allowing your hips to make circles in one direction and then in the other direction as well, keeping a good amount of strength into the heels, into the elbows, and a touch into the back of the head. Very good. Coming back to center and then just releasing all the way down. We're going to stretch our left arm over the head and we're going to roll onto our front, so all the way onto the front, and take a moment just with the forehead on the back of the hands. Couple of deep breaths here. Sometimes having the toes together, heels apart, and shaking the hips from side to side can be really nice and useful too. So while we're here, we're just going to again activate the back chain of muscles down the body. I'm going to press the left foot down into the floor and lift the right leg up. Keep your forehead on the back of your hands and then gently release the right leg down. Press the right top of the foot down into the floor, lift the left leg up and releasing down. One more like that either side, pressing left foot down, lifting right leg up and down. Upper body nice and relaxed, press the right foot down, lift the left leg up and down. This time we're going to give an extra movement, so press the left foot down, lift the right leg up, and then bend the knee gently, and then take the right foot across towards the left side of the body, just a little, and back to center, and releasing down. Press the top of the right foot down, lift the left leg up, bend the knee a little, take the left foot behind you across the body, just a touch, and releasing down. It's okay to move your hips a little. Let's do a couple more of those either side. Left foot down, right leg up, bend your knee, point your toes over towards the left side and back to center and down. Pressing the right leg down, left leg up, soft knee, take the toes over towards the right side and down. Back to center. Let's just do one more to each side in your own time. These are called scorpions or half scorpions. And back to center. When you come back this time, taking the toes towards each other, the heels apart, and just shaking the hips from one side to the other. Gentle release. Then in stillness, maybe just taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. We're going to bring the elbows underneath the shoulders. So we're coming into Sphinx pose. And here you can have your toes tucked flat, if that makes sense to you. I prefer to have my toes tucked under for this one. It's quite an active pose. And we're going to begin by drawing the elbows towards the body as we draw the chest forward and opening the front of the body, maybe looking forward, lifting the chin ever so slightly, and then pressing, imagining you're pressing the palms and the elbows away and rounding through the spine and just tucking your chin in a little. You can point your toes here if you like. So drawing the elbows forward, opening the chest, and then pressing the elbows away, rounding through the upper back. Drawing the elbows towards you, opening the chest forward, pressing the elbows and hands away from you to round through the upper back. Little touch of action in the belly muscles as we go backwards and forwards. We'll do just one more. And then very gently relaxing back down, forehead on top of the hands, toes towards each other, heels apart, gently rocking the hips from side to side. Taking a moment in stillness just to take a deep breath. If you need to let go through your mouth, then exhaling with a sigh. Then when you're ready, hands underneath the shoulders, pressing up into hands and knees. And we're going to take the knees quite wide. The hands can be quite wide as well, and make any movements that feel good. So you can do a traditional cat-cow if you like here, or you might prefer to do a little bit more of a wiggle through the spine. So whatever you choose to do here is fine. It can be circles around the center of the navel, if you prefer, which is quite nice to do as well. So from here, we're going to tuck the toes under. I'm just going to move the hands forward ever so slightly, and we're going to do a baby waving vinyasa. So for a waving vinyasa, we're going to start with the hips back on the heels, or towards the heels, rounding through the upper back. So press off the knees, press off the toes, round through the upper back, looking back towards your knees until your shoulders are over your hands, and then draw your chest forward, just as you did in your Sphinx pose. Elbows are quite bent, opening the chest, and then to come back the way, pressing into the hands, lifting the navel up, firm in the belly, and rounding to sit back onto the heels, towards the heels rather. So we're going to round through the upper back, press off the feet, press off the knees. As your chest comes forward, opening the chest, almost like you're dragging your elbows back to open the chest, and then pressing through the hands to come rounding back into hips towards the heels. One more like this, rounding through the upper back, looking back at your feet, knees to begin with, and then drawing the elbows back, soften the elbows, pressing strongly down with the hands, opening the chest, and coming back through hands and knees into your almost extended child's pose. From here, we're going to tuck the toes and come up into a nice soft downward dog, first down dog of the day. So paddling through the legs, paddling through the heels. If it feels good, you can gently soften the knees and wiggle the hips from side to side. Sometimes that's a nice way to release effort in the upper body. And if you want to, you can come into holding or bouncing in and out, whatever feels good to you. Then we're going to walk our feet a little bit towards our hands. And we're going to come into a nice little squat, and then just bring ourselves back to sitting on the mat, but of course with the left leg in front. Very good. So in your seated position, give yourself a quiet moment of lifting the body, maybe with the eyes closed or gazing gently downward, to allow your body to absorb the effect of all of that work, to feel the effect, to become aware of it. Your body is assimilating, your central nervous system assimilating all of the stimulus, the information that you've given it. And then when you're ready, you can blink your eyes open. If you need to roll your wrists, I know that there's quite a lot of hands and knees work at the end there. That doesn't suit my wrists very well sometimes. So if you need to release them out, we can. Okay, and then we do the whole thing to the other side. So starting in your center, I'm going to twist and lean over the left leg. Breathing in as you come up, twisting and leaning over the right leg. Breathing in and up, breathing out as you twist and fold. Breathing in and up, breathing out as you twist and fold. Just going side to side, easing ourselves back into this motion. Everything we're doing is stimulating, lubricating the synovial fluid. Sorry, that was rather a hanging statement. The next time you go to your right side, coming back to center, and then lengthening your left leg away. So you end up almost in Janu Shirshasana. We're going back to our angel wings with waitress arms. Okay, so left hand on the left. We're gently going to draw the back of the right hand towards the left foot, reaching as far as we can, easily, comfortably reach. Then lifting up, Twisting back towards the right, right elbow pinned into the right side of the body, palm turned upwards. Sweeping the back of the hand as we fold over the left leg. Left leg. Reaching up, I might have said right, sorry about that. And pinning the right elbow into the right side of the body. Keep going. So not too fast, feeling your way. Keep reaching, finding length, finding space. We'll do 2 more. And then we're going to hold. So holding with the elbow pinned into the body, feeling this sense of lift, openness across the right side of the chest, engagement down the right side of the body. Take another deep breath in, palms still turned upwards. Deep breath out. And gently releasing. We're going to swing our left foot round behind us. The right knee comes more in front. Twist over towards the right side, arms nice and wide, and just gently begin to negotiate for a little bit of space as we wiggle ourselves here. So it doesn't matter how far you're folding forwards. If you're able to fold far forwards, then you might really enjoy this. It might access different places. But the idea here is to maybe just find that sense of wiggling through the upper back, like a bear scratching his back. So it's our bear scratching pose. And at the same time, just release any tension across I find my tension is in my intercostal muscles, the muscles between the rib cage, the ribs on the rib cage. Very good. And then coming up to center whenever you're ready. So we're going to take our right hand down to the floor on our right side and step our left foot so that left foot is pointing back towards the opposite end of the mat. We might need to tuck our right heel under us and then reaching up with the left hand, pressing down into the right shin, foot and hand. Lovely job. So this is our baby rock star, and we're going to bring the left elbow to the right knee, buttocks towards the heels, a nice sort of fold, and then reach up. So what we're doing here is we're twisting and folding elbow to knee and then opening those spaces. We're engaging the muscles elbow to knee and we're lengthening down this left side of the body. And the opposite happens on the right side. We're engaging when we're up and we're lengthening a little when we're down. Up and down. We'll do 1 more and hold. So we hold here and here, pressing down into all of the feet and your right arm. You can open your left arm out to the left and come back to center. If you want to do just that little bit more opening, if that suits your right shoulder, maybe 1 more like that. And then gently coming back down into your deer pose. So releasing your left leg to the floor. This is where we slide down. So we're going to reach the right arm away from us to slide all the way down onto our side and then roll the upper body onto the back. And Julie calls this the squash spider pose, which I think is quite nice, quite a good name. So if this doesn't suit your hips to stay like this, you can come onto your back and simply sway your knees from side to side in a little spinal twist. But if you can stay here, then we're going to ease the inside of the left leg, the left knee, the left foot towards the floor, and then allow it to come away. Really purposeful, pressing the inside of the left leg towards the floor and releasing gently away. pressing the inside of the leg towards the floor. Gently away. As you press down, feel the connections across the outside of the hip into the torso, the low belly, the low back, the sides of the body. This time, pressing the inside of the left leg down, and if you can, holding and reaching the right arm over the head. And just spending a moment with this sort of increased sense of space, of stretch, of length. Couple of deep breaths. Then when you're ready, releasing your knees up away from the floor, your arm back to neutral. We'll bring ourselves onto our backs, maybe just adjusting the feet, perhaps a little bit closer to the buttocks if that's where you like to be for bridge. Elbows close to the body, palms facing. We're coming back into our bridge pose again. So we're pressing down with the upper body, down with the upper arms and the elbows, lifting the chest up with that effort first, and then pressing into the heels to lift the hips. And rolling down. Pressing down with the upper arms, the elbows, the shoulders, lifting the chest, then pressing into the heels to lift the hips. And releasing down. Keep going with this, up and down, taking a moment to make the effort in the upper body first, and then just a gentle press of the back of the head down at the top of the movement, or during the movement if you're able to. One more like this. And then again, we're going to circle the hips. So coming up this time, if you're able to hold and you just want to hold static, that's fine. If you want to, you can create a hula hoop action with the hips. Keep that action in the upper arms, the shoulders, the chest, going in the opposite direction as well. And then coming to center, if you want to, and only if you want to, you can lengthen your arms underneath the body, interlace the fingers, press down with the backs of the arms to lift up, maybe just a touch higher. It doesn't need to be if you don't want to. Pressing into the heels, pressing the back of the head down just a touch, just gently. And then when you're ready, releasing the arms, rolling all the way down. And here, we're going to take a moment to bring our knees into our chest. So just taking a moment, maybe hands underneath the knees and a gentle sway from side to side, or doing whatever feels good to release your back. When you're ready, you can bring the feet down to the floor. We're going to roll onto our fronts now. So reaching the right arm over the head and then rolling over onto your front and making a pillow out of your hands, toes towards each other, heels apart, and just maybe rocking the hips from one side to the other. Taking a moment in stillness, allowing your body to again assimilate that information that you've given it. And then when you're ready, you can bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. This time, we're going to lift up onto our toes if you can. If not, knees down, that's fine. If you can, lifting up onto your toes, and we're going to hula hoop our hips in this position, this forearm plank. Now, those Pilates buffs out there should be able to do this no problem at all. Let's go in the other direction as well. Nice and firm in your belly muscles. And when you're ready, coming back to center, knees to the mat, releasing your belly forward, belly down and chest forward as you draw the elbows back behind you. And then from there, releasing all the way down. Pillow out of the hands again, forehead to the backs of the hands. So on our previous round, we did some scorpion legs, and this time we're going to do our angel arms, our flying angel arms. So here, taking the forehead down towards the mat and the hands down by the sides of the body, palms turned towards the body, thumbs turned towards the floor. We're going to leave our legs in contact with the mat, so pressing down gently into the tops of the feet, maybe pressing down with the pubic bone ever so slightly. We're going to breathe in and reach the hands back to open our chest, lifting the upper body off the floor. And then we're going to breathe out, sweep the hands forward. And as the hands come over the head, tuck the chin in towards the chest, just a little. Breathing in, sweeping the hands back to the sides, opening the chest. Keeping the legs down, breathing out. Chin comes towards the chest as the arms come over the head. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. One more. Breathing in. Breathing out. And then gently folding towards the floor. You can make a pillow out of your hands, turn your head to one side if you prefer. Toes towards each other, heels apart. Wiggling the hips from side to side. Just doing whatever feels like a nice release for you. And taking a moment. Prone back bending, which is what we've just done, is really quite challenging for our cardiovascular system. So when you release out of it, you feel the thumping of your heart. That's quite normal. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing again, arms down by the sides, thumbs turned towards the floor, palms towards the body, feet perhaps a little closer together. And this time we're going to lift the feet as well if you want to. So rolling the shoulder blades towards each other, reaching the arms back to lift the head, and then lifting the legs up as well. Inhaling here, opening the chest. Exhaling, reaching the arms over the head, tucking the chin in slightly. Inhaling, sweeping your wings, your arms back, opening your chest, lifting your chin. Exhaling, sweeping the hands over, chin to chest. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up with the chest, exhaling down with the chin. Inhaling one more time. Exhaling over the head, and then we're gently releasing the arms and the legs down, taking a moment, turning the toes towards each other, the heels apart, wiggle the hips if you'd like to, or simply just take a few deep breaths or sigh to release. Oh, I feel like I could stay here for a few more minutes, but if we do that, we'll never get through the class. So come on, let's take the hands underneath the shoulders, coming up into hands and knees. And here in hands and knees again, we're going to take the opportunity to move in any way that feels good. So if you want to do some traditional cat-cows, if that really floats your boat, keep your elbows a little bit soft. You can wriggle in any way that feels good, because we don't want to carry tension or effort from one practice into the next. And then from here, we're going to come up into downward dog to do full waving vinyasa. So if you prefer to do waving vinyasa from the knees, then you can continue to do that. And if you can, coming up into your downward facing dog, you want quite a wide down dog, I find, for a waving vinyasa, and hands also quite wide. So soften the knees. We're going to look at our feet, press off the feet, round through the upper back. Keep the knees quite soft, keep the elbows quite soft. As your shoulders come through, opening your chest, elbows quite soft, hips are still off the floor. To come back the way, lift in the belly muscles, come up through a plank pose and back into downward facing dog. You can keep your knees as soft as you like. Let's roll forward 2 more times, rolling forward. Opening the chest, almost like you're dragging the elbows backwards. Pressing into the hands to come up through plank pose and back to downward dog. Last one. Pressing off the toes, rounding through the upper back. Opening the chest. Pressing down into the hands to come back. into your downward facing dog. And maybe just step your feet a little bit closer towards you. Make any wiggles in your down dog that you like. And when you're ready, you can come into kneeling or sitting or any other observing posture. I seem to be covered in dust. I'm not sure where it's come from. I'm pretty sure it's the floor, but I did hoover, so maybe I just missed a spot. Okay, so take a moment to rest, release your wrists, your shoulders, give anything a wiggle that needs a wiggle, and I'll show you what we're going to do next. So we're going to do a little side planking. Side planking, why wouldn't we? It's fantastic. So from our plank pose, we're going to keep the feet nice and wide apart, drop the heels to one side and lift the opposite arm up. So in this case, I've dropped my heels to the left, lifting the right arm up, and we can go from side to side here. Now, if it's too strong at the moment, you can do it on your knees, of course. So you can twist on your knees, your side planking will gradually build up strength. There's no point in doing something that would injure you just now. So once we've done a couple from side to side, we're then going to see if in this position we can stack the legs one on top of the other. And if that feels good, you might want to make a big star shape. And if that feels good, you can make tree pose. And then if that feels good, you can step the foot behind you and make a wild thing. Okay, so these are our progressions. And then from there, we're going to reach the right foot, the right hand back to the floor and swing the right foot all the way around. I know it's a big transition, but if you need to, you can come down and come into this lunge a different way as well. Okay, super duper, righty ho. So I hope that all those wrists are released. Got some action going on in the upper back. I may need to slightly adjust my clothing as usual, and we will come into our planks to do this particular variation. So reaching the hands as far away from you as you can, tuck your toes. You can come through downward facing dog. It's quite useful to do that. Take your feet quite wide apart. Bring your shoulders over your hands. And we're going to let the heels come down on the right side, lifting the left arm up. Press through the right hand. Coming back to center, pivot on your toes. Heels to the left side, lifting the right arm up. Let's go one more to each side. Pivot and lift. Keeping very firm in your center. Pivot and lift. I realize now I'm the wrong way around. So you are going to go to the other side. And then if you can either just hold this position, you can stack one leg on top of the other, really creating space underneath the body by pressing down. You can lift your top leg if it feels comfortable doing that. You can stack your top leg on top of your bottom leg to make a tree pose. And you can step your top leg behind you to open up, pressing down into that top foot, that right foot as well as the left foot, into a wild thing. And then from here, you're going to maybe bend the left leg and create space and lift to twist round into a lunge. Very good. Don't worry, come into your lunge however you like. Okay, well done, guys. So in our lunge, we're going to keep the back knee down, and we're going to bend the front knee, come up to a standing lunge, reach the arms up, and then just gently pulse up and down. So here, just a gentle pulse, coming into the lunge, pressing out, in and out. Very good. Now we're going to do something slightly different. We're going to bring our front foot back towards us, press into the front foot and come up into more of a standing lunge. And we're gently going to rock on our feet backwards and forwards, like this. Okay, so we're playing with finding balance on the feet. And we're going to play with moving into warrior three. So that's lifting the back leg up, reaching the arms forward. And you can put your arms wherever you like. You can stand onto your standing leg and reach the same arm forward and the opposite arm back. This is quite a nice warrior to do. You can do it with both hands reaching forward, both hands reaching out to the side, both hands reaching back. Any variation of this. A little bit of momentum. And when you're ready, you can hold your warrior. Standing leg a little bit soft. Lengthen through the arms and the legs once you're up. Breathe as you hold. And then very gently step your back leg down. Reach your arms up into warrior one. We're going to lengthen the front leg, pivot from the hip as we reach forward, hands framing the front foot. Twist or pivot on your back leg, soft knee, and come back into our plank pose. So we can do the whole thing on the other side. Okay, so it might be useful here to just press back into downward facing dog for a moment. Keep the feet nice and wide, make any wiggles that feel good. Then coming over the hands, we're going to go in the opposite direction. So side plank to the opposite side first, reaching the top arm up, stacking the feet one on top of the other if you would like to. Lifting the top leg if you would like to, create space underneath the body, really pressing down. Bending the top leg, coming into a tree pose with the top leg if you'd like to. Reaching that top leg behind you, opening your chest into a wild thing if you'd like to. And then from here, keeping the bottom leg a little bit soft, we're going to twist and bring our back leg all the way forwards into a lunge. It's quite a lot of effort to do that and talk at the same time. So here in our lunge, we're going to reach our arms up, just gently pulse up and down. A little firmness in the belly here, just opening the space down the front of the body. And after a few pulses, we can bring our front leg back towards us a little so we can press into the back leg and come up into a standing lunge. And arms can be wherever it's comfortable. And we're just going to rock backwards and forwards. Hopefully this is the opposite side for you. Finding our balance. And it helps to have a point of focus that you're looking at. Once you've found your rocking balance, you can begin to explore into those warrior three variations. Hands forward, hands out to the side. You can put your hands wherever you like. Just a few. I prefer this one. And then when you're ready, coming into a warrior three, lengthening the arm away from the back leg, keeping the standing leg a little soft, just taking a couple of deep breaths here. All the wobbling is good. And then when you're ready, place the back leg down, come into warrior one. Front knee is bent, arms reaching over the head, then pivoting as you lengthen the front leg, folding forward. Coming to pyramid pose, we're going to take the hands, framing the foot, taking the foot back, come into downward facing dog. And a few little bends of the knees. And here, with the feet wide, let your heels come to one side and then just bend and stretch the legs. Little sort of dog plie. Coming back to the center, pivoting on the toes, heels to the opposite side, bend and stretch. Very good. And then we'll come back to center. We're going to take the feet really nice and wide, walk the hands back towards us, and come into a standing squat. Whew. Good job, guys. If you would like to here, you can keep your heels off the floor. It's not a problem. You keep your bottom quite far away from your heels if you'd like to. And if you want to, you can play a little bit going side to side. So last week, we did crow pose, so our hand balance, and you can play around with that this week as well, just for a few minutes. So we've got our squat as deep as feels comfortable. It can be much higher up, it's not a problem at all. Heels off the floor if you need to. And we're playing just like we did just now, standing on our feet. We're going to play with placing our hands down and rocking our weight forward. So hands down, feet down, hands up. Hands down, feet up, feet down, hands up. Keep looking forward so that you don't feel the impetus to fall all the way forwards. Okay, so it's just a little bit. And we've got perches on the back of our arms, outer arms or back to the arms for the knees. It's just a little bunny hop, really, away from the floor. And then for anyone who would like to, you can explore a little deeper. So as you come up, maybe you can get air under both feet at the same time for just that moment longer. See how you go. And for anyone who practices crow on a regular basis, you might like to just do your crow just now. Remember to find your breath. Releasing down whenever you'd like to. And we'll take a moment here to just release the wrists and take a break. Take a breather. Sit or kneel as is comfortable. Relax your arms and let your body just, again, assimilate all of that information. All of the stuff that's been happening. And so here is where you will have an opportunity to handstand or flirt with the handstand if you'd like to. So handstand is its most closely associated postures are the downward facing dog and tree pose. So if you're not practicing handstand today, if you prefer not to, then do either a downward facing dog or a tree pose. Either of these is good. So I'm just going to move my mat a little bit back because I think that way, hopefully, all of me will be in the picture. And I'll show you what we're going to do. So for those who would like to flirt with the handstand, we're going to do it in a very similar way as we just did with the crow, but from downward facing dog. So watching for now, you come into your downward facing dog, and we're going to step our feet quite close. We're going to take one leg up and use the effort of this leg to bring the other leg off the floor. So we'll swing that leg up and bunny hop the bottom leg off the floor. Okay? And we're just playing with that motion. We're going to do it on both sides. And if you want to, you can do it with a wall. But you need to be a relatively, let's see, maybe this piece of wall would be good. You need to have about the length of your forearm between you and the wall, because otherwise there isn't enough room for your bottom and your head. So if you're using the wall, same thing, kicking up, and you might find that because the wall's behind you, you get a little bit more confidence to come into a handstand shape. You don't need the wall at all. And so you can begin practicing this if you'd like. The other thing that you can do is, as you're kicking up, you can bend your bottom leg. So, but don't worry about that too much, unless it comes naturally. So it's the lifting of the top leg. Pressing down into the hands. I'm going to take a look to see how you guys are doing. There are some very funny faces. Give me 2 ticks, guys. Oh, yeah, excellent. Just giving it a go, that's all it is. And when you've had enough, that's okay too, okay? Brilliant, some excellent efforts there. Fantastic stuff. So when you've had a go with both sides, taking a moment to just bring yourself into a resting pose for some stillness. So it's a really good idea to have this resting pose either seated or perhaps pose of a child. And taking a few moments to breathe deeply. Release your effort. If you're doing child's pose, try turning the palms of your hands upwards or releasing the hands back down to the heels. A few deep breaths. And if it feels, some people don't like child's pose after handstands because it's quite the opposite pose. So it can undo some of the good work of handstand. So if you prefer to be more upright, that's fine too. Take one more deep breath. And then we're going to come into a very wide-legged child's pose. So first, congratulate yourself on even having a go. I think that's fantastic. And then keeping the toes together, the knees coming apart, bringing yourself into a really wide child's pose, reaching the hands far forward and turning the palms upwards. Forehead coming to a block or the mat. And then reaching the hands to the back of the top of the upper back. So bending at the elbows, reaching the palms to the back of the neck or the upper back. Just taking a deep breath here. Releasing. We're going to bring ourselves up slightly, slide the right hand between the left knee and the left elbow, and take the right shoulder, the right side of the head to the floor. And then relax the left arm as well. So a twist in your upper back, deep breath in. Long, slow breath out, relax your chin, your jaw, your forehead. One more like this. And gently coming back to the center. Again, reaching the hands away from you, forehead towards the floor or support, bending the arms at the elbows and seeing if you can just reach that little bit further down the back. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. Coming up a little, leaving the right hand on the floor, sliding the left arm underneath between the right knee and the right elbow, left side of the head, shoulder to the floor. Soften the right arm. Soften the features of the face, the jaw, the tongue. Deep breath. Holding for 2 more deep breaths. Then very gently coming back up to center. We're going to take a moment to do legs up the wall here. So if you don't have a wall, use a chair or a sofa. It's not a problem at all. But if you've got a piece of wall, a nice friendly piece of wall, bringing yourself close to the wall, swiveling the legs up as you take the torso down. It doesn't matter if you're not absolutely against the wall, but if you prefer that sense of contact, you can wriggle yourself in. And your legs don't have to be straight here. You can have nice soft knees. Our object here is to allow the legs to relax completely. So if you get up there and you're feeling a little rigid, just rolling the feet at the ankles, you can roll the knees towards each other and apart. So a little bit like our octopuses at the beginning of the class, but done in an inverted posture. How lovely. You can go both ways if you want to. Lovely job. And that also stirs the thigh bones in their sockets and releases any tension from there, which is great. So here we get all the benefits of an inverted posture, but without having to fling ourselves around. So we get the venous return is draining in the legs, which is really good if you get swollen ankles or if you get varicose veins. And we can take the arms either out to the side, or if your shoulders feel comfortable, you can reach your arms over your head. They don't need to be close together, they can be wide. As long as the backs of the arms, the elbows, the wrists, the hands are all supported by the floor. And we just take a few deep breaths here. Relaxing the effort that we've made, softening the face, letting the body absorb all that information, settle, find its ease. You might be enjoying the stillness of this posture, and that's great. But if you do sense a niggle, like if your neck is niggly, then rolling your head gently from side to side. If your shoulders niggle, then find a way to softly ease and release if you can. So while we're here, we're going to do another round of full yogic breaths. So at the beginning of the class, we breathe deep into the abdomen, raise the breath into the sides, the back, the chest, and then as we exhale, just gently engage the abdominal muscles to press the last of the air gently out of the lungs. So finding again your full yogic breath. And if it doesn't feel natural to do that, simply focusing on a long, deep breath. As you breathe, filling the whole of the rib cage, the whole of the torso. And as you release, releasing the breath, and then gently engaging the tummy muscles to ease just a little bit more out of the lungs. Check your face for tension, release it where you find it. Check that your hands and feet are still relaxed as well. At the end of your next exhalation, allowing your breath to find its natural rhythm. And then drawing your knees into your chest, hugging them towards you, making any movements that feel good with your back, with your spine. In your own time, rolling to one side and just coming up into a comfortable seated position. We are moving towards relaxation, so this is a great time to put on clothing or grab your blankets. Make sure they're close by. And then we'll just do a few simple arm opening movements. I hesitate to call them stretches, but they're stretches. And then we'll be ready for relaxation. So when you've got your warm layers on, if you're putting them on now, bringing the backs of the hands together and just rolling through the wrists. Going in both directions. Bringing the hands together, interlacing the fingers, making figure of 8 actions with the wrists. And don't be worried if I haven't got any clicking left, but don't be worried if you have some clicking and popping, that's all okay. And we're going to keep the hands interlaced. We're going to stretch the backs of the hands away, tuck the chin to the chest and just round through the upper back, through the back of the body in general. And then just gently swing the hands from one side to the other. So a little reach, a little length down the sides of the back of the body. Coming back to center, sitting tall, turning the palms outwards. Breathing in as you raise the arms up. Breathing out as you settle the shoulders down. Feel that openness and just gently, with that openness, swaying a little bit from side to side. Doesn't need to be a full side bend, it's just opening up those spaces under the ribs. Very good. Coming back to center, separating the hands, releasing the arms down, taking the arms behind you, interlacing the hands behind you. Rolling the shoulder blades towards each other, lengthening the arms, and then drawing the hands over to the right side of the body. So the left back of the left hand to the right hip, tuck the right elbow in. And here, just gently chin to chest, rolling the right ear to the right shoulder, looking up a little and down. Just seeing if you can open the space across the front of the shoulder. That's the left shoulder. And then coming back to center, chin to the chest, lifting the head, releasing the arms, rolling the shoulder blades towards each other again, lengthening the arms, bringing the back of the right hand to the left hip, tucking the left elbow in. Chin to chest, rolling the left ear to the left shoulder, rolling the chin up and down. Or making any movements that feel good to you, that let you access that space of length and release. When you're ready, chin to chest, releasing the hands rather, opening the chest, bringing the hands back around the body, making any movements in the shoulders that feel good. And we're going to finish with a little stirring. So it doesn't matter which way round your legs are, just a little stirring of the upper body. We'll go the same in the opposite direction. Then if you'd like to, you can do this with your legs wide. If you prefer, you can keep your legs folded. We're just going to turn over the right leg, fold forward and gently sway from side to side. So it's not a forward bend as such, we're just lengthening. The knees can be nice and soft here if that suits you. But again, it's that sensation of rubbing the upper back, the back of the body against something, just to ease the fascial layers, release tension. Coming back to the center. Same thing to the other side, twist, fold just a little. It's not about how far forward you go, it's about getting that, that sensation in the back of the body. Soften the knees if it's helpful. And then when you're ready, you can come back to the center. Grab any support that you'd like to have for relaxation. I'm going to take a bolster under the knees and a blanket if you'd like one. Today, I'm going to have a blanket too. Why not? Okay. And so our practice was warming, but also very vigorous to begin with, and has slowed right down. So hopefully you feel really ready for relaxation. That's important after practicing things like a handstand. So when you're ready, you can bend your knees into your chest and roll down, and then make some nice massaging movements with the knees into the chest, just rolling around any way that suits you. And if you're ready, you can lengthen your legs out. If you find that your low back's still a little bit uncomfortable, something under the backs of the knees will help. But also simply pressing your low back down into the floor and holding it for a few moments and then releasing can be really useful too. So coming into relaxation alignment. So arms are relaxed away from the body with the palms turned upwards. The spine is lengthening along the floor. So you've also got space down the sides of the neck. The feet are wide and falling outwards, toes falling outwards. If that feels good to you, it could be something different if it feels better. Something underneath the back of the knees if you need it. Closing your eyes and bringing your body to stillness. Take a long, deep breath in and sigh out as you exhale. Repeat one more time and just relax and release into the floor. Allow your breath to find its natural, deep rhythm. Soften the features of your face, your forehead, your eyes, your tongue and jaw. Become aware of the whole body, heavy, warm, supported, and releasing down. Become aware of the space over you and around you. Feel the touch of air on your face, the sensation of space in the palms of the hands. Allowing your breath to find its natural deep rhythm. Take a moment to be aware of drawing prana in with every inhalation. And being able to soften and release a little deeper with every exhalation. Notice if you're holding tension anywhere in the body. Allow it to soften. Allow it to release. Let go. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back into your hands and your feet by wiggling your fingers and toes. Maybe rolling the wrists, rolling the ankles. And just before you begin your stretching, notice how your arms feel. Notice the connection between the fingers, the palms of the hands, the wrists, the forearms, elbows, upper arms. The shoulders complicated. Feel the armpits, the area across the top of the shoulder, the front of the shoulder as it joins into the chest, the back of the shoulder as it joins into the the shoulder blades, the upper back. Feel the sides of the body. And then when you come to stretch, stretch like a cat or like a small child. Feel your way into the stretch. Move and ease. There's a special word for it. I think it's pandiculation, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But that special kind of stretching that's easing through. It's not really about lengthening, it's about shifting. It's about fascia. And then when you're ready, you can bring your knees into your chest, hug them towards you, make any movements that feel good, any rocking or rolling, or twisting, or whatever feels good. When you're ready, you can roll onto any side, whichever side feels good. Keeping yourself on your side just for a moment. And then in your own time, finding your way up to sitting. And if you would like to continue stretching and sitting, you can. And when you're ready, you can bring your palms together and rub them vigorously, getting heat into the hands. And you might find that after all that stretching, actually your palms are warmer than normal already. Pressing firmly, rubbing hard. When you're ready, placing the hands over the eyes, feeling that warmth soften and release the area around the eyes. Blinking into your palms a few times, releasing your hands down when you're ready to open your eyes. Namaste, guys. Thank you for being so game to try this practice. You all did incredibly well. And remember, it doesn't need to be perfect. There's no real perfection in yoga. So we're just aiming to take ourselves a little bit out of our comfort zones. Find a way to play with the body, to get back to that sense of exploring with curiosity. I hope to see you again.